Hi everyone, I wanted to make a video where I talk about the importance of reading in this day and age. The more you read, and if you read quality stuff, and if you think in private and deliberate over issues and come to independent understandings of important things in society, important social dynamics, um, you know, matters surrounding the law and the organization of society, yada yada. If you develop an independent view, drawing from high quality literature, um, and if you write, and if you really rediscover your inner voice, and stop filling your head with ideas that are not your own, you will start, I think, to lose attachment to our pretty sterile and empty and hyper partisan political rhetoric. Now, I don't mean to throw like the entire political conversation under the bus. I mean, it's not like it's good or political conversation is not good, but it's not very helpful always to just disparage it. So obviously bad. Okay, yeah, and it's kind of our fault that it is the way that it is. So we have to kind of move forward. Anyways, I have found a helpful thing, a helpful change for individuals is to just read more and to read old stuff, especially. Exit the kind of conditions that produced our screwed up political conversation at present that seems to be super unproductive in many ways, not totally, but very unhappy. It's just an unhappy conversation. Influence, I mean, there's such a wealth of human activity throughout the ages. Get familiar with stuff that happened in times completely different from our own. Maybe no time is always completely different, but if you want to identify even the similarities between our time and separate times, you got to explore the past and really just, drown you, not drown yourself, um, plunge into a different moment. New ideas unfamiliar to you, ideas that you don't hear on your screen, that you don't see on the videos that get millions and millions of views. And you got to have patience, and you got to stick to studying something that isn't being algorithmically encouraged. It's okay to just read what interests you. So I'd say start with reading start reading important books, like stuff with information in it. Again, I would recommend old books. I think it's super productive to just learn about the past and find something. But eventually, after you've been hooked on something, hooked on an intellectual journey, read what is of interest to you. If there's an author you love and they were influenced by the work of another person, read that book. Go on a journey, open your mind up, subject it to new vistas, and then when you have to engage with society, because we don't really have a choice, you can bring in something new and hopefully, start to reset the screwed up condition that we live in at present, and you'll be refreshing and original. I mean, it's just I could go on about this at length, um, but it's just we're not going to save ourselves by being in an echo chamber of like media that's just derivative of what came yesterday and not what came, in far better eras. We just become so myopic, so presentist, so fixated on the present that we're imprisoned by the present. So you got to go somewhere else. You got to bring in new ideas, and eventually, hopefully, we'll have a present that is less miserable to live in. Reading is the engine of culture. It really is. If you care about culture, if you care about being human, you do have to sharpen your mind, and you can only do that through reading and digesting a complex thought that alters your worldview, so that the thoughts you generate in your own perspective is actually of interest, is actually interesting, is actually valuable, is sharp, and making you more of an active player in the world, somebody who I guess is making the most of their autonomy. But you gotta get some help. You gotta read. You gotta learn from the people who were learning from the generations before them, because you can't. You're not gonna wake up one day and have the brain of Aristotle or something like that. You got to read Aristotle You're not going to have the brain of Einstein. You got to read Einstein, and you got to read Apollonius. You actually don't read Apollonius. Apollonius is so fucking hard. Don't read him. He's harder than Einstein. Sorry. Well, no, read him. Just read, read, and then get bored with the people who are being really lazy in how they communicate ideas, and to be disinterested in the people who are trying to brainwash you. And then when you do have to engage with politics, if you've learned to distinguish between a wasteful interference, a wasteful engagement with politics, and a necessary one, um, then when you engage in politics, hopefully the quality, you will at least be one of the people who are um, contributing in a way that is actually edifying the public conversation and nuancing it and sophisticating it. And then we can do all kinds of interesting stuff. But we got to bring everybody. It's like culture is a pool that we're all drawing from. We got to fill it with good stuff, not shit. And right now, I mean, like the people who get the most um, of a platform and the most influence are they are people whom you could do a better job. Um, I'm almost like my brain is refusing to register that sentence as grammatically allowable. Okay, you know what I mean. You could do a better job if you treated your mind well. Okay, don't. I'm not going to be super cynical and say every person who's financing an influential pundit or something like has your worst interest at heart. They might have they might not have your interest at heart at all. They might have a vague understanding of like, this would be good for society. But regardless, at this point, looking at what the fruit of their labors have procured for us, you would be better looking after yourself, okay, or at least having something that some sort of understanding that you can reference that allows you to be a better judge of what's in your interest at the very least. So I would recommend read great literature, read literature and books, and expose your mind to information that is uncommon, and then kind of go crazy and complain about the world and fix it. All right.